Okay. Well, hello, listeners. Welcome to this episode of Shukriya Bollywood. Today will be a very, I would call it an interesting experiment. I have two of my great friends. One is very young. The other one is not old, just an old friend of mine. So first, I'll welcome Jim Hurley. Hello, Jim.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Arshad.
Yes, of course. And as our co-host is Manasa. Hello, Manasa. How are you
Hello,
today?
Uncle G. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Yeah. So let's have some fun. So first, Jim, is one of the Bay Area's most eminent musicians, teacher, performer. There's hardly anything that he has not done. I have known Jim for at least 3 decades, I believe. Yes, that's right, Jim.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Yep. So we have done different kinds of music, played together, different bands, I think, And so first, Jim, tell me a little bit about your background. When did you first start learning music, and what made you turn into a professional musician?
Oh gosh, I was about 10 years old when I started playing,
Ah,
and I just loved playing music. It just always appealed to me. And as far as professional, I didn't even think about that until
ah,
I always played music because I loved it. And then when I was
okay.
in college, I was studying engineering, and I liked
Oh,
music better, and I changed majors, and my dad
oh,
was not happy. And
oh, yes, that's.
I had to prove to him that I was still serious. And so I thought, well, however hard I'd work as an engineer, I'm going to do that with the music. And so
Yeah.
here I am.
Oh, so Manasa, there's a lesson for you. She's studying something like that, and
You
are
jump
you going
ship.
to do that?
My parents had me.
Um, I mean, no, that's definitely very inspiring. Just putting equal amount of hard work, or perhaps even more. So, you're definitely an inspiration, Jim, for sure.
When I was, you were an inspiration. When I heard your singing, I just like, wow, this is going to work.
Thank you.
So, Jim, what made you gravitate towards violin as opposed to other instruments?
Well, I've always played guitar and violin,
Ah,
and the
okay.
violin is just the one that I really put the work into. The guitar is like I just kind of relax and play the guitar. So it's kind of like they're different, but I love playing them both. For composing, the guitar is great. Um, the violin, just the challenge has always appealed to me, and
Oh,
just it's
okay.
still a challenge. I still practice a lot, and it's fun, and yet it's fun in a dynamic, challenging way.
Ah,
And learning
okay.
new music, I always love learning new music. That's my favorite.
So, when you were learning, what kind of classical music did you learn? I mean, what was the main subject, so to say?
Well, with the violin, you learn classical music. I've always liked Bach. There's so much music I like. It would take 10 minutes to even put a list together of
Yes.
all the
Okay.
music that I like. But I've always liked jazz and music from different parts of the world. When I first heard Indian music, it knocked me out. I just became obsessed.
Wow. Okay.
Hearing Shakti with El Shankar playing.
Yes.
I,
Ah. Okay.
I borrowed the record and I never gave it back. And I just listened to it over and over until it didn't work anymore.
Ah,
That was very, very. It just galvanized me to I just instantly thought this is the music I want to play.
amazing. Amazing. And among Western musicians, among Western violinists, who inspired you the most, or who do you like?
Oh, there are a lot of them. Back then, I think Jean-Luc Ponty was a classical violinist that completely chucked the classical thing, became a jazz and rock violinist. Very, very,
Okay.
his technique, his understanding, his composition were all excellent. He became kind of a standard that I attempted to aspire to. And Stefan Grappelli was just, he is, if I had to pick a, just greatest Western violinist, the jazz violinist Stefan Grappelli was
Yeah.
just the sound. Just like, that's the sound I wanted.
Okay. And as you know, the one that I can think of is Yehudi Menuhin, right? He also gravitated towards Indian music,
Yes.
playing with Ravi Shankar and
And
right.
he played with Stefan Grappelli too. So
Yeah.
Played
I
he was
actually heard them live. It was amazing back in the early 80s and late 70s. I heard Ravi Shankar and Yehudi Menon and my teacher Ustad Allah Raka played with them. That was fantastic. And
uh,
he was practicing to the very last moment he got on the stage. you know. Yeah, pretty amazing. So let's hear some a classical piece from you, Jim, if you don't mind.
okay. So this is I just thought I'd play a little Bach piece that
Oh,
just
okay.
sounds it sounds almost a little bit South Indian. I think it, but you know, but it's a little movement of Bach. So.
Okay.
So that's a movement of Bach. Actually, it's a part of a movement of a larger work by Bach, and I
Okay.
always like that one. And
So, and I see that you're not reading from notation, you played it from memory.
yes, it's easier that way.
Wow. Ah.
I like
Wow.
I like to not be visually processing at the same time.
Ah,
However, when we play the songs today, I have not quite put the gazillion hours in to that I require to memorize.
well,
So
okay.
I'll have to be looking.
And I was just enjoying Manasa's expressions, the reactions.
I missed them because I'll see them in rerun.
So, Manasa, what do you have to say about that piece? What
I
is
I
your
mean,
yeah.
can I even say anything? It's incredible. So, um, actually, when I was taking choir in high school, my friend, she's an amazing pianist, and she'd play all these Bach pieces on the piano, and I'm just like blown away because um his compositions, like technically speaking, it's like he goes from major to minor and then minor to major just like so easily, and then you're like, I don't know if fugue is the right word, but like you're doing a loop in major, and then you're like suddenly you're doing that same loop in a minor scale, and it's amazing. And I was just thinking how a Bach piece can be performed vocally, because that would be simply amazing, I think.
Well, this is a good place to make experiments.
So that particular piece came from a collection that was almost lost. When Bach died, he was respected but not revered, and they cleared out his house and carted off all the waste paper, which was
Oh dear.
all of his music, and they sold it to a paper broker. And so it wound up in a stack of paper at a cheese shop in St. Petersburg,
Oh,
Russia. It was going to be cheese wrappers, and someone
really?
pulled it out of the pile and thought, this might be interesting. And so that was part of the cheese wrapper collection.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Was a cheese wrapper. So
That's cheesy.
That's true.
So, Jim, how about a short history of the violin itself? How old it is and how it's made, and a little bit, just a short.
well, the violin evolved from earlier instruments. I think the first bowed stringed instruments were from Mongolia, where they had horses.
Oh,
And so the horsehair of the bow, that was they had
yeah.
bows and arrows, and they figured out that they could make music. And so Mongolia a long time ago, and then it kind of diffused through Asia, then Middle East, and finally up to Italy. And in Cremona in the 1600s, the violin became its present configuration. But it was an evolutionary process. It wasn't like invented in a flash of inspiration.
Right, of course. Yeah, all instruments are like that, I believe. Yes, yes.
But it's pretty comfortable, and this one was made in 1750. So
Wow.
I tell my students it's older than I am, even.
Can I ask a quick question about
Yes.
the violin?
Yes.
Yeah, like what is the like why is it designed that way? Like there's a integral symbol like on both the sides.
Yes, yes. I don't think they even had calculus back then. I think it hadn't been invented. But yes, the shape is for aesthetic reasons. It could be much
Okay.
simpler. So many things on the violin are just decorative. Like on the top,
I see.
you have this scroll, which does absolutely nothing. I don't know. It's not really coming out that well. But that beautiful the integral shape is just aesthetic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I thought it had to do something with like how the air is going and stuff. How the sound is being produced.
The general shape and size is functional, but as far as the graceful curve, that is an aesthetic choice.
I see.
Amazing. So, let me add, you mentioned horse's hair, right? And I believe it has to be a male horse.
Well, I didn't know that, but
Yes.
I recently I learned something. I'm lazy about and kind of cheap about getting my bows rehaired. The hair is only like a couple of dollars worth of hair.
Right,
And
right.
I had
Yeah.
the same hair on my bow for over 10 years, and then
Wow.
I was starting to have problems with my technique, and I was
Wow.
thinking of everything in the world except for just get a rehair like everyone else does.
Right.
And so I finally got it rehaired, and it's just much, much better now.
Yep.
They put $2
But
worth
it
of
is
hair on after 10 years.
okay.
It's better.
But it is supposed to be a male horse. They don't use a female horse. No?
Wow.
Yes.
I'll check into that.
Hey, I know something too. Manasa, do you have any more questions for Jim?
No, nothing as of now.
Okay, so let's go to the next phase of our episode. We're going to do a couple songs which our Manasa has so kindly consented to sing.
Oh, oh please.
Manasa, why don't you introduce the songs?
Yes. So the first piece that Arshad uncle composed and has given me the permission to sing is, is called "Tum Jo Mere Saath Hote." I would say like the whole premises of this song is like a very poetic, sophisticated breakup song of back in those days, because it's like you're thinking of that person, you're missing that person. It's like I wish you were here, but unlike breakup songs nowadays, back then it was much more subtle, and it's a beautiful composition that Arshad uncle composed, and I'm very, very happy to be singing it.
So,
And I will be joined by Jim on beautiful violin pieces for this song.
So, since you are working on this song, Manasa, what was your initial reaction, right? Or how did you respond to the melody, right? And how did you figure out what to do with the lyrics, how to express them? Just the internal part of that.
Right. So, because the tune of the song is raw, like you've never heard it before. So when I was initially learning it, it took a little bit of time because the melody is a little intricate, and also with putting the right expression on the lyrics, you had to help me out with the meaning, because the meaning plays a lot of a significant role in the wazn. So you were able to help me out with the lyrics, and like because I now know what the meaning is, like I was able to put the those subtle intricacies on certain words that possibly enhances the beauty of the whole song.
But
um,
also a small bit of a hurdle was it's not your native language, right?
yes, yes,
So,
definitely not.
so that's commendable that you can actually do all this, not being.
I mean, I love learning the languages, so yeah.
So Jim, when you first heard this melody, what was your reaction and how did you feel about it before we started working on it?
The first thing I realized is this is kind of graceful and formal. And I just kind of got this font, yeah, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. It has this lilt to it. And so I hope that it comes out. We're in a special Tala Zoom Tal right now.
Zoom
We'll see how this all works. And we'll see if the graceful and yet formal feeling of the rhythm comes through.
Yeah. Also, for you, also, it's not your native language either, right? So then giving expression, but I guess you do it by feel, right?
Yes, I didn't know it was a breakup song. Now I'm going to play it differently now. And so
that's how I'd like to call it. So when I first heard, when Uncle G was telling me the lyrics, I was writing them down. I was like, this definitely sounds like a breakup song. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what we can do with this, right? Or rather, you people are going to do something with this.
Sure. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so the scale is F.
So Manasa, before you sing it, can you just speak, just say the first four lines,
Sure.
right? For the listeners. Yeah.
Yes. So the song is called Tum Jo Mere Saath Hote. And I'll read the first four lines. तुम जो मेरे साथ होते तो बाहों में सिमट लेता. तुम जो मेरे साथ होते तो बाहों में सिमट लेता. ना इन यादों की ज़रूरत होती, ना उन वादों का जिक्र होता. तुम जो मेरे साथ होते.
Yeah. Thank you.
तुम जो मेरे साथ होते, तुम जो मेरे साथ होते, तुम जो मेरे साथ होते तो बाहों में सिमट लेता, न बाहों में सिमट लेता, न इन यादों की ज़रूरत होती, न उन बातों का जिक्र होता. तुम जो मेरे साथ चलते 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 गर हाथ थाम चलते, चलते 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 गर हाथ थाम चलते, ना ये राहें मुड़ती, ना ये रिश्ते यूं बदलते. तुम जो मेरे साथ होते. जो रखते 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 पल भर तुम जो रखते मचलते और सपने ना यूं बिखरते तुम जो मेरे साथ होते तो बाहों में सिमट लेता ना इन यादों की जरूरत होती ना वादों का जिक्र होता तुम जो मेरे साथ होते 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 Yay!
Wonderful.
That sounded beautiful.
Yes.
It's easy to follow too, and
I loved the the following harmonies. It was so beautiful.
So, Jim, how did you arrive at all these harmonies and all the parts that you played?
I first sketched in the melody and tried to figure out, the sections and how the repeats worked, and when you did it once, when you did it twice, and then I just played along with it and tried to make up a harmony that worked with the melody.
Wonderful,
And
wonderful.
just totally by ear.
Yes.
I
Wow.
stuck with the
But
scale.
also, I think like if you had been in real time, you could have played more fillers, But this is Zoom tal, like you said, so we have to manage.
Yes, yes.
And the song actually came out like really beautifully for Zoom. Being in sync for most of the time, like both the vocals and the instrument it's such a privilege, to be honest, on Zoom.
Enabled us to do things that we have not been able to do otherwise.
Definitely.
I still like playing with three musicians in a room together, and I
Of
wish
course.
Arshad was on the tabla.
Wish we could go back to those times.
Well, eventually,
Do
yeah.
you have your F tabla?
No, I don't actually. No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't. Yeah, yeah. But so, Jim, what was your? How do you think? What do you think of Manasa's treatment of the song in terms of intonation and things like that? Mhm.
I noticed right off she sings beautifully in tune, and her timing is graceful as well. And it's graceful, and it's not, like lockstep. It has give to it, and so I can follow that with a relaxed time feel.
But also, she's very young, so maybe you can give her some pointers and tips of what she can do to grow
Definitely.
further.
I just say keep doing exactly what you're doing now. It's very good. Don't give up. You got to keep music in your life. You got to keep pestering people so that they keep playing music with you, because someone's got to get it together. Like Arshad got this together, so thank you, Arshad.
Definitely.
Oh, my
Thank
pleasure,
you,
of
Uncle
course.
T. Actually, I was thinking, hopefully, inshallah, we all meet in person one day, and if you can play the santoor on this song as well, it's gonna be a killer. Amazing. It'll be
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out some heavy duty tuning because santoor is generally a D instrument, right?
Oh,
To-
right.
So, but I'll have to change I'll figure something out, because I don't have to play a solo. It'll just be fillers and pieces. So, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, yeah. So, F would be like my playing from my ga,
Oh, yeah.
Yes, from my third note. Yeah, that I have to make that a sa. Yeah. Right?
A lot of
all that.
strings to tune. It's hard
Yes.
enough keeping 4 strings in tune, but how many strings does the santoor have?
Only 100.
Only 100.
They'll be all day tuning that thing.
That's why it's santoor, right? Century, right?
Mm.
Is that from the same root?
I believe so because Shatatantriya Veena, that's a Sanskrit name for it. Shatabdi is 100,
Yeah.
in Sanskrit, right? So the century, So the Roman soldiers will call centurions. I think they're marked in, they marched in groups of 100 maybe, so they were centurions, right? Yeah, they didn't play the Santur. I think they were busy with other things. So, Manasa, any more comments on this song that we just did?
No comments. The song is no comments. It's a beautiful composition. And you did a fantastic job composing Uncle Ji and writing the song. And Jim, you did a lovely, lovely, lovely job with such beautiful violin pieces. I just hope I was able to do at least a little bit of justice on my part to this lovely song.
Great. Okay.
What you saying was
So,
beautiful, Manasa.
Thank you.
Imagine it better.
so this is turning into a mutual admiration club, I believe.
Why not?
Sure, why not? This is Zoom Tal, so right? And we have a new president, so we should be celebrating. Okay, so Manasa, why don't you introduce the second song that we're doing?
Sure. So the second song is actually one of my favorite compositions. It's called "Kaun Hai Jo Dil Mein Mere." This also, when I heard it for the first time, again, because all of these compositions are raw, like they're just coming out of the harmonium. So when Uncle Ji was playing the song on the harmonium, I was totally blown away. One, because of it's like beautiful melodious tune, and second, it's very like crazy transitions from like major to minor scales in one part of the antara. I was like, oh, whoa, you would like normally if you hear the song, you wouldn't expect like a minor phrase to show up at all, but the way Uncle Ji kind of incorporates that into the song, I think kind of just beautifies the whole thing. And this is also I had a lot of fun working with the song as well.
What about the lyrics?
Oh, well, this is not a breakup song.
There you go.
Anyone around here breaking up or anything?
This is a patch up song. It's a it's just like admiring. I think the song is more than just like admiring a peripheral beauty of some person, but it's more about like their personality and how they are as a person and how wholesome they are. So I think lyrics wise also, this song is really very, very beautiful. And yes, although it's not my native language, Arshad uncle, explained the meaning of each and every word. And I was really able to capture the whole essence of the song. And again, that's where I was able to kind of understand where I should put certain emphasis, or where I should put in, incorporate these slight mood keys or something like that, just to kind of add to it.
So let me add something here, Manasa. So actually, between these two songs, it's to be somewhat of a little bit of a challenge for the singer because these two are completely different moods. The lyrics
Definitely.
wise, right, and melody. One is like you said, breakup song, but this one is has a completely different mood.
Definitely.
The meaning is different, everything. But to do them together back to back, that is, I think, for very commendable that you can transfer the mood. So,
Hopefully.
you want to introduce the lyrics of the song, the first four lines,
Sure.
maybe? Just speak them.
Yes. So again, this song is called "Kaun Hai Jo Dil Mein Mere." कौन है जो दिल में मेरे चुपके से आ बसा है कौन है जो दिल में मेरे छुपके से आ बसा है चांद का रूप जैसे बादल में जा छुपा है कौन है जो दिल में मेरे.
Yes. Jim, so when you heard the melody, what was your reaction? How did you go about working on it?
Well, it was the same thing. I scribbled the melody out and kind of got the form. I had to kind of listen to it and get the organization of it. And the harmonies just kind of make sense throughout. And the one place where it goes to the Komal Ga, I just found a harmony for it that makes it sound nice. It doesn't sound jarring, and it reminds me. There's a Vivaldi, the Vivaldi Four Seasons. There's one part that just has that same. It's another graceful kind of It's like the last one. It's in threes. And I don't know exactly what tall that would be.
Zoom tal, you said, right?
Oh yeah, zoom.
Zoom.
And it just had a gracefulness and a little slightly different than the other one, and it reminded me of this Vivaldi, melody that I love.
Ah, Vivaldi, huh? Okay.
So
Yeah, Four Seasons.
I
Yes. Yeah.
approached it a little bit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great CD. I have that CD actually, Vivaldi's Four Seasons. I do have it. Yeah. Beautiful piece, you know. Yeah. You know, Vivaldi actually specified that his melodies will be played at 440 pitch, not 442 or 444 pitch, I think. He didn't want them to be played at 440.
Yikes.
Yeah, he
When you play
specified that.
violinist, you get used to one, set pitch saw,
Yeah,
and it's hard to go even like 2 cents away without it,
yeah, yeah.
actually
But but interestingly, all Indian instruments they are made at 442. Even the tabla sounds best at 442 rather than 440. So if
Well,
you
honestly, this sounds better at 442 than 440, but I don't dare go there because then I'll be back in 440 land and I'll be playing sharp. And
yes.
there's a joke about violinists that it's the violinist would rather play a little sharp than be out of tune.
Ah.
So
Yes,
I would be a living fulfillment of that.
yes.
So maybe this violin was meant to be played at 442.
Well, yeah, maybe it belonged to Vivaldi. We don't know, you know.
But I don't dare do that because everyone is at 440, and if I go away, I will never come back.
So Manasa, what's your favorite pitch? 440 or 442?
First thing, I might sound like an absolute amateur at this point. What is 440, 442? I was able to get a little bit out of from the context, but what is 440, 442? I was about to ask the question.
Okay, Jim can explain.
Yes, it's hertz. 440 is 440 vibrations per second, and 442 is just two more. So it's not a large shift, and you hear it as just a slight raising of pitch. It's not even a semitone. It's very small, but it's significant, and you would hear.
You can hear it, yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's what you call shrutis, you know?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I see.
So let's say in some ragas, one note like a knee would be sharper than the natural knee, but just 2 cents sharper,
Oh.
right? Otherwise, the rag doesn't come out so beautifully, you know.
Well, on the violin, you move pitches a little bit, and sometimes that's nice. Whereas on a piano or a harmonium, you can't. You just got what you got.
Yeah, that's it. It's fixed. But in some ragas, you have what you call ati komal ga.
Oh.
So it's a little flatter than the komal ga.
Oh. And it's called Ati Komal?
Ati komal. Ati means extreme, right?
Yeah.
Right. So ati
I
komal
see.
ga. Like I think some kind of todis would have that, you know.
I see.
Jogia would have that. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
then my favorite, I don't think I have a favorite because both the 440 and 442 have their own touches, I guess. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so both of them are my favorites.
So most harmoniums that come from India would be 442.
Oh, I see.
Like so, if you see this one, right?
Oh.
Is it different from the tanpura you're playing?
It is.
Right. See, that's 442.
Whoa. That's cool.
Right. So your tanpura is going at 440 because that's standardized. You know,
Right.
all keyboards are standardized. You know.
I see.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So okay. So much for technicalities. Let's go to the song.
Sure. कौन है जग में मेरे छुपने से आ बसा है चुपके से आ बसा है चांद का रूप जैसे बादल में जा छुपा है कौन है जो दिल में मेरे मेरे कैसे ये रातें हैं कैसे ये सपने हैं कैसे ये रातें हैं कैसे ये सपने हैं ना होती है सुबह ना रात ढलती है ना होती है सुबह ना रात ढलती है पूछूं मैं तारों से किसका वो नाम लेते हैं बातें वो किससे करते हैं कौन है जो दिल में मेरे 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 क्या बात है तुझ में जो तेरी ओर बुलाती है क्या बात है तुझ में जो तेरी ओर बुलाती है तू दूर है मुझसे तो तेरी याद सताती है तू दूर है मुझसे तो तेरी याद सताती है पूछूं मैं प्यारी आँखों से सपने में मेरे क्यों आते हैं मुझसे ही क्यों शर्माती है कौन है जो दिल में मेरे चुपके से आ बसा है चांद का रूप जैसे बादल में जा छुपा है कौन है जो दिल में मेरे मेरे मेरे
Wow. I didn't want the song to stop, you know.
The Puma works.
It was so amazing. Oh my god, you're a genius. That was so good. That harmony on that Komal ga just that was amazing, Jim.
I tried a couple other notes and they didn't work, so I'm
It
glad.
was so good. It was so good.
Okay, so can I mean, can I request once more on that second antara maybe?
Oh yes.
Just
yes.
for that Komal ga.
Yes.
Start wherever you want. I'll figure it out somehow.
क्या बात है तुझ में जो तेरी ओर क्या बात है तुझ में जो तेरी ओर बुलाती है, तू दूर है मुझसे तो तेरी याद सताती है, तू दूर है मुझसे तो तेरी याद सताती है। पूछूं मैं प्यारी आँखों से सपने में मेरे क्यों आते हैं, मुझसे ही क्यों शर्माते हैं।
Wow. Beautiful.
Notes are fun sometimes. It's putting notes together in different combinations. That's just like,
Absolutely,
they all say
absolutely.
something. Every note says something in relation to any other note. That's another compound, structure of meaning. And it's amazing how humans can discern these pitches and make sense of them, and how, just combinations of pitches can sound happy or sad, and every shading of it in between.
Yes,
Definitely, definitely.
yes, yes. Yes. Well, Jim, your treatment of this song was just exquisite, It was,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
I had fun working on it. I sit up and just play, and my neighbors are probably about to shoot me, but
Uh, so, Marisa, how was your journey with this song? I mean, from learning. See, when I mean, we can't show the entire process of learning a song and working on it. But when you first hear that, when I first played for you, it's just like straight standing notes, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So from that, point to this point, what's your, how did you work on it? And
So yeah, overall it was a very very beautiful journey from the day one of when we started working on the song and till now when Jim just kind of gave the song another level of life with that beautiful violin piece. Um, so when I first started learning it, again, the tune is very raw. Like you've never heard you. There's no reference. So it's just Uncle G plays it on the harmony, and I literally record it on my phone. And during class, when I'm stuck, I just pause the recording, go back and listen to my own self singing. Because when I'm just learning at that point, you can't remember what you're doing exactly. It's just like you're going with the flow. So when I learned it, I was trying to absorb the tune, kept making mistakes and everything. And, honestly, day one was just understanding the whole structure of the song. And also, and the technical side apart, was also about just understanding the whole meaning of the song because that's very, very important when a person is learning a song. It's very important to learn the meaning. So on day one, it was literally just I wrote down the lyrics. Uncle Ji explained the meaning of every single word, and I was trying to internalize the tune a little, and I recorded all the different bits and pieces that we've been singing and improvising, and uh, the days after, it's basically just improvising and finding ways to make the song better because initially it starts out as a raw tune and it's up to us in a way to kind of make the song beautiful, and by putting expressions on the right words and conveying the meaning through the tune. um, so that was just the coming days, and then I was slowly able to add on a few intricacies here and there, just play around with the song. And Uncle Ji and I also like went through a lot of drafts where sometimes we were changing the lyrics of the song so that one word can sound better than the other. In fact, with the last song, um, the last line of the last song is "Aur sapne na yu bikharte." Before that we had "और सपने भी पूरे होते और सपने भी हसीन होते और सपने भी मुकम्मल होते." So we had three drafts and then we came to the fourth draft. So well, once you just listen to the tune and practice, the coming days are more just improvising, adding slight embellishments. And when I first met with Jim, we were trying to discuss, like, we were discussing on how, where we can add the harmonies, and how we can enhance the song and just bring the whole song to life. So, and today, definitely Jim, with his violin, kind of just brought life to the song. I just hope on my part, as a vocalist, I was able to give a little bit of justice to this brilliant composition.
Well, you more than did justice to it. Jim, do you have any tips for Manasa? I mean, how she can work on songs in a more efficient way, learn them quicker, maybe? Some tips for her.
When I figure that out myself, I will happily pass that information on. I think Nasa is, not only is she singing from the heart and singing beautifully in tune with beautiful timing, but the expressiveness and the attention to the words, it's just wonderful. I just say more of the same. What you're doing is great. Keep it up, and it'll just get better and better. You'll add to your stock of musical knowledge. But what you're doing right now is wonderful.
Thank you.
I can't think of a single thing I would change.
No, but there must be some like when you learn a new song, right? There has to be some method of learning also, right? I mean,
Oh, it's hard work. I just stay up late at night and play it over and over.
there you go.
And the first few times I play it, I'm glad no one's listening. And then, as it goes on, I still, at my advanced age, I work hard on my music, and I try not to assume anything. And so I take that melody as the melody is the most important thing, and I'm trying to make up a part that complements and supports that melody. In this case, sometimes when I compose, I'm making a melody, but in this case, it's harmony and accompaniment, and I tried to make it fall into that role, and that's fun. It's as fun as doing melody. It's the inner voices of music. Sometimes people, when they listen to a song, all they hear is the melody and the beat, but all these inner voices are the interesting part. There's a lot of thought that goes into those inner voices of the music, and that's.
You have any questions, Manasa? Comments?
I do actually. One question is about, so when we listen to a song, and this is actually, I need help on this. So when I'm singing a song, how do I determine the harmonies of the certain notes, the arrangement? Like, how is it, like, what is an efficient way to determine harmonies of a certain arrangement? Because I'm not very good at that. Sometimes it's like it's just sometimes by intuition I get the harmony and it works, but like I actually do not know of a proper way to kind of calculate or figure out what the harmonies of certain pattern of notes. So any tips on that?
Yes, I would say first of all, trust your ear and go as far as you can with your intuition, because your intuition will not steer you wrong, but there will be places where you just don't know what to do, and that's where just basic music theory, like studying Bach and how Bach's music is structured, you learn all these little moves that if the melody is doing this, you have 2 or 3 counter melodies or harmonies that might work, and then it's back to your intuition as to which of those is appropriate.
I see.
So as much as possible, trust your intuition, but when that fails, it's nice to have basic music theory.
I see.
I don't want to overthink it, but it's, I think in terms of the harmony within the scale, sometimes you're implying notes that we don't even play. So as we were playing, there were other notes that I could have played that would have been correct, but they're kind of hidden. And I think when a person listens, sometimes they supply those missing notes in their imagination. But harmony, it's just learning proper music theory. I guess Western, and Bach was just a real, he represented a high point in Western harmony. There's lots of other fun stuff, but just as far as how voices move and add up to larger structures, the chords, Bach's good for that. And so that little Bach piece has all these voices. It's one line, but one line implying 2 or 3 voices simultaneously.
Hmm. I see. And another question I had was about, so violin actually is a pretty integral part, I would say, in South Indian music, Carnatic music. Uh, it's like heavily used during concerts and everything. So I was wondering, from a purely Western music perspective, what is your favorite raga to play on the violin? And is
Favorite
there like a
rag?
technical reason why?
My favorite rag?
Mm-hmm.
Cherokee is nice.
Oh.
That just kind of speaks to my heart. I mean, so many others do, but since you asked and I just had to pick one, that's one that just always spoke to me very, uh, it just speaks to my heart.
Is there like a technical reason as to like the arrangement of the notes that make up Charukeshi?
Nope,
That
nope, nothing
okay.
technical at all. It's like there are so many possible combinations of notes, and their value is what they say, what they express.
Mm-hmm.
There are some theoretical constructs that are real interesting, but they just don't sound that good. And so I think it's good to study as much form and music theory as possible, but let your intuition be your guide always.
It's interesting you said that, Jim, and we also, Manasa, because Schubert actually has a piece in Charukeshi. It's complete Charukeshi.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
Kishi is a transposition of the melodic minor scale. So,
yes.
for instance, uh, a melodic minor goes like this. But if you start from a different note, it's like A is saw. If you take the same set of notes but make E saw, you have this.
Yeah.
So by changing the note that you call saw, you have one scale with 7 notes. Any note within that 7 could be saw.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them sound kind of not worth saving, but there are, within that group of notes, there are 3 possible saws that are very interesting and work nicely.
I see.
Cool. Yes. So,
And it's just,
Manasa, you might want to look up that Schubert piece, it's in
Sure, but please,
Charukeshi.
definitely.
And
Yes.
actually, I think Lashmikant Parallel used that melody to make a film song. Exactly.
Huh.
I'll tell you about that song later.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's go to the next part of our episode. Uh, Jim, your journey, from playing classical music, jazz, and so many other genres to Indian music. Like you said, you got attracted to Indian music because of Shakti.
yes.
So, what was? How did that happen? I mean,
Well, first of all, I heard it and I was just so absolutely overwhelmed. It was like, how come I haven't heard this before? And I listened to this record over and over and over again and drove my friends crazy. And then within a week, I wrote this song, Lakshmi Rocks Me. And this is
Yes.
40 some years ago I wrote this.
Yes. I remember playing this song with you many times we played in that group, Ancient Future, so many times.
Yes.
And I played Kanjira with you on this song, yes. Yeah.
Yes, and you introduced me to the Kanjira, and I still play my Kanjira. I still have that. I still have one of them. 2 of my friends have the other 2, and
Okay.
one fellow doesn't take really good care of it, and I'm surprised it's still around.
You should get it back.
Yes, yes. But he's a good friend, and
Okay.
complicated.
Okay. Okay, so let's, but a little bit of how did you come up with this song? I mean, was there another song that inspired this song?
No, usually I labor over songs. I spend a lot of time, and just readjust. But this one just popped right out. This one just like it came to me. It just
Wow.
instantly. I mean, I did some minor adjustments as I went along, but
But
basic
yes.
melody just popped right out.
Wonderful. So yeah, it was some good things are meant to happen. They do happen. Right. Well, let's hear it.
Okay, so it really usually involves you got to have a tabla player or a conjure or something, and then harmony. But I have a little arrangement that just works for solo violin, and so.
Okay.
That's the short version.
Whoa.
I don't know what to say.
And I'm not even sure that people have said that's not even a proper raga there, Jim. And well, okay, it's a song, and
It's a song. It doesn't matter.
No. It really doesn't matter. I think here it's just wow. Wow. Oh my God.
it's fun. And I still play it with my friends for fun. And then with any song, if you have a group of musicians, you have to have a space for improvisation.
Yes.
And so there's a rhythm that kind of needs to go along with it, and that's variable. But whatever the rhythm and the accompaniment in the background suggests what you do, and on a good day you're brilliant. On a bad day, well, you just chalk it up to experience, and
Yes.
that's how improv works.
Yeah. I
I
remember taking
really
couple.
wish to hear this with the Kanjira one day. That would
Yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah. I remember playing a couple, taking a solo or so in either on tabla or on kanjira in this song. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think I first heard it way back. I don't know, late early '90s maybe. Yeah.
Well, you got me the conjura, and I still play it, and I'm amazed that this is a 20-year-old conjura. That lizard skin is just unbelievable. How it's survived, and it's still just as flexible as ever. And
Yes.
I just worry I'm going to have to get another lizard skin to replace it at some point. Do they still have those monitor lizards, or are they extinct?
Well, they're an endangered species. So,
Right?
in order to buy a kanjira, you have to declare yourself to be a professional musician with the government, and only then you can have a kanjira. Right? You can't go to a store and buy it anymore. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So you hang on to it, what you have.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So how did you come up with that name, Lakshmi Rocks Me?
Well, actually, I didn't come up with. I'm no good at naming songs. It was Doug McKeon, who was another
Ah, okay.
founding member of Ancient.
Yes, yeah, I know that. Yeah,
He
yes.
named like 3 of my songs because I just couldn't name them. And
Okay.
how about Lakshmi Rocks Me? I said, yeah, that sounds good.
Lakshmi rocks me. I love that name.
Uh, Yeah. So yeah, I didn't name it. I'm bad at naming songs. I have songs that I
Oh,
keep.
it's a great name, I think. It says, yeah. Don't you think, Vanessa?
Oh yeah, Lakshmi rocks me. Yes.
Well, you can thank Doug McKeon, who is a very,
Right.
very insightful person, and he has very deep roots with Indian music, and he also, jazz and all these other things. But he used to have Ram Narayan as his
Ah,
house guest
yeah.
whenever he came
Oh,
around.
I see. Okay, okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
he would stay up late at night drinking with Ram Narayan, and not
No
many
wonder
people
he came up with that name.
know.
So, Manasa, you have been learning Carnatic music. So, if you were to listen to this melody with a Carnatic ear, what would you think?
I mean, I would first thing, I am not like so amazing to judge anything, to
No,
be
it's not
honest,
about
but
judging, just your reaction.
my
Your feel,
reaction would
basically.
still be the same. It would still be the same. And actually, um, raga wise though, I might be right or wrong on this, but like when I was listening to it, um, like some bits and pieces of this song reminded me of the raga Nate. And
Hmm.
Nata is it's a very very popular and heavy raga in Carnatic music.
Ah, okay.
And yeah, it reminded me of that raga. But yeah, like whichever year I listen from, my reaction would still be the same. And with the name Lakshmi rocks me, my mother will be happy.
Saying that's your mother's name, and I dedicate it to her.
Sure. Yes. Manasa's mother is so helpful to her in her music. She's just
She
amazing.
really is.
Yes, yes. So, uh, well, that was an awesome song, Jim. Thank you for doing this for us. It was just a great pleasure, a great honor to have you, and especially for Manasa to get some tips from you and advice.
Definitely,
You know,
definitely.
yeah. So maybe, I mean, this seems to work. So maybe we'll do this again in the future.
Yes, yes.
I would love to. I'd love to.
Yeah. So, any concluding remarks, Jim?
Um, I'm so pleased to, first of all, be working with you again, Arsha. Anytime that you have an idea, it's going to be good. So I just say yes.
Oh, thank
I
you.
don't quite get what's going on. When you said it's going to be on Zoom, I said, oh, no, not Zoom. I said, oh, yes, Zoom. And it's worked out pretty nicely.
Yes, yes.
And also, I am so pleased to meet you, Manasa. You are you are a gifted, expressive musician. And if you're this good at this age, you will only get better. And you don't have to do
Yes.
anything different. I just think continue
Inshallah. Okay.
whatever you've done,
Inshallah.
it's
Thank
yours.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Manasa, you have any concluding statements?
I'm I just wanted to say I'm just incredibly honored and blessed to be able to meet such incredible people in my life. I never expected all of this will even happen. Um, Arshad Uncle Ji, I'm just glad you found me somewhere. I'm just this random kid, just, singing something, and, you found me, and, you know, you've accepted me as your student, and it's just been a great journey since then. I've been learning original raw compositions, and you know it feels great every single time that when I'm singing a composition of yours, it's like I am singing the song, like nobody else has sung the song before. It's like I got the raw tune and I'm able to sing it. So thank you for making me sing your compositions. It's my privilege and it's my honor. And Jim, I do not have any words. I'm so 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 happy to have worked with you. You're just incredible. And I found yet another lovely teacher, so thank you so much. I've learned so much from you, and I really look forward to meeting you again in the future, and I'd love to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I
Thank
hope
you.
next time we work together, we won't have to do it over Zoom. That we'll all be vaccinated and we won't have to wear masks and we'll appreciate. I never appreciated it before, but I think I'll appreciate it after this is over.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, let's thank you again, both of you, for this episode of Shukriya Bollywood, and we'll meet again. So I'll stop.